welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be doing this video. That was really overdone and acted. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be back on YouTube again. I know it's been roughly about a month since I did my last YouTube video, and that's because I've been traveling around Europe for the last 4 weeks with one of my best friends. And I thought, why not do a YouTube video about my Contiki? So before I left for Europe, I had 100,000 subscribers, and now I have 130,000 subscribers. What the hell? That is incredible. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I don't know if some of you just like hearing my voice or you like stalking me, but either way, thank you so much for subscribing. The Contiki I chose to go on was called the European Trail. You go to 14 different countries in 23 days, and you start from London and you catch a coach, and you're constantly on that coach throughout the entire 23 days traveling everywhere. Our Contiki started in London at about 6 AM. So you don't really get to see London at all. You just drive pretty much straight to your next stop, which was Amsterdam, I'm pretty sure. Shayla and I decided to get to London a day before our Contiki started so that we could travel around London for the day and do all the main tourist attractions, which we did. And oh my God, I love London. The accents, yes. So day one, we get on the coach. Shayla and I were the first ones on the bus. And we're like, where do we sit? Back, front, middle, what do we do? What do we do? So we're like, oh, we'll sit at the back, because apparently the back seat was the best, was more comfortable. But then we realized that it's a full bus anyway, so you won't be able to lay down and relax at all. You're literally just sitting side by side for over like 8 hours each time you travel. On this bus, you have your trip manager and your bus driver. So I had a bus driver named James, or hashtag Contiki Evans, and then our trip manager was Steph, and Steph was amazing. At the beginning, I was all like, oh God, because she made us do this get to know each other on the bus thing, and I hate stuff like that. Don't you guys hate that stuff? And it's like awkward, and like no one really wants to do it, but you're being forced to do it. And it was called like speed dating. So everyone that was sitting on the window side had to stay seated, and everyone on the other side had to like move around in a minute and get to know everyone. And I was like, oh, I hate this. But then it ended up being really fun, and that's how you got to know everyone a lot better. So good for you, Steph. That was a really good game. But then during the trip, we had to do more little games like that to get to know each other, and I was like, stop it. But at the end, it ended up being really fun. There is a toilet on the coach. I never used it because it gets full really quick, and I was just really scared because I feel like I would be the one that went to use it and it was too full and it would like splash up on me, so I wasn't going to risk it. Also, the new coaches. So I was talking to our bus driver, and before I started my Contiki, I asked a lot of people about previous Contikis that they have been on to see what I should pack and what I should bring. And someone told me to bring a portable charger because buses don't have any charging ports. Well, our bus had charging ports, so you could charge your 2 charging ports per seat, so you could charge everything and anything, and it was amazing because you spent a lot of time on the bus. So I did a recent Instagram question thing so you guys could ask me questions about my Contiki and I could answer them. So that's what I'm going to do now. Ask me, and I do apologize if I haven't answered your question. Please don't send me messages on Instagram yelling at me for not answering your question, because I have thousands of them. I'm not doing it on purpose. I love you all. I'm going to answer this first question from Steph. She was our trip manager, and she said, how cool is your trip manager? Steph, you were incredible. Unfortunately, Steph got quite ill midway through our Contiki, and she had to go to hospital, and I hope you're doing well, Steph. I know you'll be watching this. Don't worry, I'm talking really good about you because you were amazing. I think your trip manager makes or breaks the trip. If you have a shit one and they're boring, I think it could bring the Contiki vibes down. But Steph was like on a high 24/7. Did you feel rushed at all on the trip? Now, you are semi-rushed at times. There is a lot of early wake-ups if you're not a morning person. Not a morning person, so I didn't really enjoy that. The best thing about the European Trail is you are in a place long enough to get the feel for it and whether you want to come back or not. I'm definitely going back to a lot of the places I visited because I don't feel like I got enough time. Roughly how much spending money would you recommend taking to Europe? Okay, now the worst thing about this is the dollar. It's so shit. It's like the dollar is so shit. You like exchange like 5,000 Aussie and you get like $1 back. honestly recommend taking about 5,000 euros minimum. So that's like what, 7,000 or 8,000 Aussie dollars. Only so you'd rather have more than less, but always make sure you've got backup. I wouldn't suggest going on a Contiki and only taking the minimum amount of money, because when I was over there, I realized there was a lot more that I wanted to buy than I assumed. Was there time to go and do your own thing in each city, even go and do washing? Yes, so in majority of the places you did get either a free night or free time during the day, and all the hostels that we stayed at, majority of them had laundromats, but not all the dryers or washing machines would work, so that was a downer. And one place had like laundry services, so you just give them a bag of your washing and it comes back the next day and it's all washed and clean and folded. It was amazing. How long was the Contiki? My Contiki went for 23 days, but we ended up being away in Europe for like 3 weeks and 4 days, because we stayed an extra day in London and we added 4 days on in Paris because Shayla and I wanted to do Disneyland Paris. You can't go to Paris without going to Disneyland, am I right? I know. Is the accommodation good? I chose a Contiki where you stay at hostels. I've never stayed at a hostel in my life, so it was a bit of like a shock to the system, because I was like, where is the room service? Now each hostel had pros and cons really. So one hostel would have really super comfy beds but have shit blankets and shit pillows and a shit shower. Or one would have really good shower and then a shit bed. So you could never really win. The rooming situation was always broken up into like groups of 5, 4, 3s, boys, girls, and then couples. We always seemed to get the room with 5 people, and I was like, why? So imagine being 5 women in one room with 1 bathroom and 1 toilet. Just picture that. It's fucking chaos at times. What was the biggest pet peeve that others did that aggravated you on the trip? Oh my God. So I know majority of the Contiki people are going to be watching this, so I'm not going to name names, but so there's this thing that everyone talks about called the Contiki cough, right? I heard about it before I went to Contiki. Apparently you get sick on the bus and everyone gets sick because they're all run down. No, it's not true. I'm cutting that out right now because that is not the truth. What happens is people get on the bus already sick, and then the other people on the bus that are healthy end up getting sick because people have come on the bus already sick, and the sickness just flows throughout the entire bus. Shale, do you mind interrupting my YouTube? I'll reply to you though because I love you. I would highly recommend bringing antibiotics. The best thing I did on the entire Contiki trip is pack antibiotics, cough syrup, nasal spray, cold and flu tablets, throat lozenges. What else did I bring? Sinus tablets. What else? Everything you can think of that you don't think you'll need, bring, because they came in handy, because I ended up getting sick there. I had a sinus infection, then I had a throat infection, then I just had a regular cold. So all these things came in handy, and then at the end, everyone was always asking me for my throat spray, and I was like, well, you should have brought your own. But yes, you can borrow my throat spray. Yeah, so this Contiki cough thing is not a thing, because people are coughing before they get on the Contiki. So it should be before the Contiki cough, not the Contiki cough, you know? Yeah. So to answer the question, my pet peeve was people that cough with their mouth open. All I was hearing was coughing, which is okay, but then when you look over at the person that's coughing like, I'm like, is it really that hard to do this? Or this? Or this? Is it? Because I don't think it is that hard. Did you have to buy your ticket to Europe yourself, or was it included in the Contiki tour? So the best thing about Contiki is if you book everything through Contiki.com, they organize everything. Your flights there, your flights home, the entire trip, everything is just organized, which is probably the best thing about Contiki. And then if the date that you have selected doesn't go through because there isn't enough people, you get a refund on everything, so even your flights. But if you book your flights through, say, Flight Centre or something, and your Contiki is cancelled, you won't get that back. So I highly suggest doing everything through Contiki.com. And it is good value for money. And because it's a Contiki and they've been doing it for years, Contiki gets special privileges. Contiki get special privileges wherever they go, so that's another good thing about Contiki. What's your best packing tips for European winter? Holy mother of cow. Hand warmers and like 1,000 pair of socks. Thermals, girl. Pack thermals. When I say thermals, I mean like pack 100 minimum. I realized I knew that the European winter was going to be cold, but then when I went to Berlin, that was a shock to the entire body and soul and mind and everything. I was like shook. I was shook for days that we were there. I just couldn't fathom that it was this cold and everyone was just walking around living. I was like, how are you guys not dead? It's so cold here. I wore, so Timberlands were really good. They came in handy, but because they're so heavy, my feet got so sore from all the walking we did. But I would definitely recommend snow boots as well, like cute little snow boots you can wear each day. And then, what else? First thing about packing is they weigh your suitcase at the beginning of the Contiki. You can only take one bag with you and maybe like a backpack, so that's what I took. And my suitcase ended up splitting on like our last leg. So I think it was like just before Paris, my suitcase split because I had so much stuff in there and I was like packing it in. I had to like stand on it to close it, but then I ended up getting some like strap things to strap it together, to hold it all together. And then at the end of the Contiki, you can buy a carry-on and just pack more shit into that. That's what I did. I would also recommend bringing a good hairdryer. Some hostels have hair dryers, but they are not hair dryers. It's just like someone going, that's what it felt like. So bring your own hair dryer. I would also recommend packing a portable charger because that came in handy so much. If you're like me and take photos of everything and anything just because it's overseas, your phone will die. Your phone will die quite quickly. So I had 2 portable chargers, which was really good because Shay would use one and I'd use the other, and sometimes we'd use them together. Friendship goals. What made you decide to do Contiki? I actually had Contiki planned way before Love Island as well. Me and Shao booked it like 10 months in advance and we just paid it off as we went. I don't think I would ever do a Contiki on my own because there were some people on there that I didn't get along with and some people I did. So I couldn't imagine being on my own and not getting along with someone. It was so good to have the support of a friend. We can hate people together. What was it like getting to your accommodation from the airport? That's the most part I'm scared of. Okay, so when we landed in London, we caught a taxi straight to the Contiki hotel where they do everything. It took about 40 minutes and it cost about £55. I would always rather catch a taxi than catch a train because I don't know, I just feel like they're safer. So it's really not that scary. The taxi drivers over there were so lovely. And how strong was the guide's knowledge on the tour? Oh wow. So Ebony and Steph have so much knowledge about everywhere we go. It was just intense and crazy how much they knew. And then also the tours that you can add on in your Contiki in different countries, I'd highly recommend doing. Some of them were a bit like, oh, I wish I didn't do it, but then afterwards you have so much more knowledge on the places. The Berlin walking tour was incredible and it was only an extra €9. And like Steph said, it should be way much more than that. Do you feel like you could have done it cheaper yourself? So yes and no. I feel like I wouldn't recommend doing all the add-ons that Contiki have to offer you on the European trail. Some of the dinners sounded good that you add on, so it was like an extra, say €34 or €50 or something, I don't know, between that price. They were shit. It was like awful food, and I feel like I would have preferred to have explored different places in that area and gone to a different restaurant, but you don't know that until you do it. But that's just my opinion, so don't go off my opinion and not do the add-on dinners. Sometimes they were really fun, and all the drinks that you get included is like 1 wine, a beer and a spirit. Like you get to pick out of that. And the wine was always yuck. Some of it was nice, but I'm not really a wine drinker. And the whole free pouring thing over in Europe, great, great, excellent, love it. Going in winter, was it too cold to do stuff? Yes, it was too cold to do everything, but you still did it. Was it cheaper than organizing and flying to the countries yourself? Now this is where I'm so torn because I feel like I could get more done if I had organized the flights myself instead of going everywhere via coach. But then it's a Contiki, so it's a group thing. So when you're on the bus, it's where everyone can mingle and get to know each other more, and people can sleep on the bus if they were hungover and things like that. But I just feel like we spent so much time in the bus. Did you do weed in Amsterdam? Yes, I did. Can you really go to Amsterdam and not do it? Would you take your boyfriend on a Contiki? Yeah, definitely. There were a few couples on our Contiki, and lucky enough you would sometimes get a couple room, but then there was like 1 or 2 times where they had to be split up and girls had to stay with girls and boys had to stay with boys. That was the only shit thing if I was in a relationship I'd be annoyed about. I'd be like, I want to sleep with my boyfriend. Yeah. How was it going with your friend? Like, did you girls argue heaps? Surprisingly, Shayla and I didn't really argue. I mean, we've known each other for 8 years, so we are like yin and yang. We literally have like matching tattoos, yin and yang. So things that I don't like, she likes, and things that she likes, I don't like. So it's really like we're opposites but very similar. I would recommend going on a Contiki trip with a friend that you've known for quite some time, because there is moments where you're frustrated at things, you'll get lost, you're hungry, you're tired. Like, there's just, you need to be very good friends not to argue for 4 weeks in Europe. Is Contiki all about sex and getting drunk? No. I feel like the only people that had sex on our Contiki were the couples. And getting drunk, I mean, yeah, you have the opportunity to go to the pubs and stuff each night. Your Contiki manager will show you where the best pubs and that are to go to, but you don't have to go. We didn't really go to any of that because, like I said, we don't like pubs. But yeah, you don't have to get drunk every night. I only got drunk twice, but believe me, I got drunk enough those 2 times for everyone on that entire trip. I just don't know my limit. The limit doesn't exist. Are there many single travelers on your Contiki? Yeah, a few. There was a lot of people that were traveling on their own. I have a sneeze coming. Oh, it's gone. That's coming. It's gone. Fuck. Make it be mine. Okay. Woo. Yeah, so there was heaps of single travelers on our Contiki. So it is a very popular thing, and you do make friends straight away, especially people that are traveling on their own seem to bond with other people that were traveling on their own. So you'll always make friends. You'll always make friends. Was the food nice? The best thing I ate on the entire Contiki trip was in Rome, and it was pesto pasta, and it was, you have no idea. It was the best pasta I've ever eaten. I can never eat good pasta now here because it's not going to be the same. I recommend trying everything at least once. I tried snails in Paris, and hot tip, it's not that bad, but just don't chew for very long. So we had like a pesto and garlicky snail. You eat it, you chew it like maybe maximum 4 times and then swallow. Just swallow. Do not chew it more than that, because I was chewing and I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. And then I kept chewing, I'm like, this is a snail. Yep, this is the snail. So with the Contiki, it says that you get breakfast and dinner included in some of the stuff. It's not all that. Breakfast, you literally go downstairs and there is a plate of cheese, just like sliced cheese, salami, bread, maybe cereal. At least it's food, it's free food, you paid for it in your Contiki, so you may as well eat it. I have never eaten so much bread in my life. I also ate Maccas in nearly every single country. I had chicken nuggets in nearly every single country I went to. How many hours did you spend on the bus? I don't know, but probably like a year. Felt like a whole year on that bus. A whole year. And you can sit wherever you want. No one is allowed to dibs a seat and sit there for the entire time. So we pretty much sat everywhere and anywhere we liked. You can sit anywhere you want on the bus. It comes down to how fast you get to the bus. So if you want the front seat, you got to get to the bus straight away. If you want any seat, get to the bus at any time before it takes off. I heard that if you're not on time for the coach, they will take off on you. Our coach seemed to be super lovely, and we waited for everyone. So even if you're running like 5 minutes late, it's okay, so don't stress. I mean, if you're gonna be like 30 minutes late, then don't fucking bother getting on the bus because it's not gonna be there. I recommend having a hard suitcase as well for traveling, especially when it's raining and you have to leave your suitcases outside for a little bit. The hard suitcases are the best, and I feel like you can fit more in there. I mean, mine popped, but Did I run into any fans overseas? So I did actually. I met a couple of my fans overseas and it was so lovely that they came over and said hello. Apparently I had got a few messages from people saying they had seen me like overseas and they didn't want to come and interrupt my trip, and that was really lovely. But if you do see me, please come and say hello because I'd love meeting you guys. Did anyone treat you different because you were on Love Island? No, no one treated me different and I absolutely loved that. I don't think I'm above anyone. I was on a TV show. Not even a great TV show. I'm not better than anyone. I'm like, I don't want to be treated differently. I'm not going to get, we all paid for the same Contiki. Just because I was on a show and you weren't doesn't mean that I'm higher up than you. So no one treated me different and I absolutely loved that. So overall, I would recommend a Contiki at least once. I probably won't do another one unless I go with a big group of friends and maybe in the summertime. If you want to know more information about Contiki or ask me more questions, maybe I didn't answer your question and I'm sorry, just write a comment below or message me on Instagram and I will try and get back to everyone. I'd really like for everyone that has subscribed to help me with my next YouTube video. I want everyone to tell me what they would like to see more of because I don't want to sit here and make videos and everyone's like, you know what I mean? So comment below what my next video should be or give me ideas on what you would like to see and I will do it. So